Hi, Chris Popper here in Bangor. I'm joined by Kim Swan down in Bar Harbor. And Kim, first of all, before we start talking about the Village Improvement Association, congratulations, 50 years in the real estate business. That's quite an accomplishment.
I know, I can't believe it.
I
So it'll
mean,
be,
you were 9 when you started, right? So,
I was like 3, actually. But I do remember when my parents started it because they started it in our dining room.
yeah,
It's so just to, and I do remember that because my bedroom, the dining room office was between my bedroom and the whole rest of the house. So unless I got up really early, I was stuck.
right. You walk in and there'd be a closing happening at the kitchen table and
Yeah, and it's like, oh, just running through with my little Donald Duck pajamas on.
Well, I mean, you don't wear Donald Duck pajamas anymore, but I mean, it's great to see and congratulations. Certainly 50 years in business is something to be very proud of.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, so we're talking about the Village Improvement Association and the needed repairs to the shore path. And we all know how beautiful the shore path is. And if you've been down in Bar Harbor, you've walked parts of it, and it just got devastated by the January storms.
Oh, crazy. And just when you thought January 10th was horrible and then January 13th, it's shocking what Mother Nature can do.
Right, right. And so it needed close to $1 million in repairs, and there've been some great donations that have already occurred. And I think you got a check today, didn't you?
We got a check today from First National Bank. So they're our leading donor and they gave us $5,000, which was awesome. And even before we started the campaign, I mean, there's not very often that people say, how can I give you money? How can I give you money? I mean, the shore paths, one thing that the whole community can agree is treasured by everybody. So we actually had raised about $25,000 of the 300 even before we launched the campaign.
Right. And you've had major gifts from the Bar Harbor Inn and Stay Bar Harbor as well. So you basically needed, as this has gone public, about $300,000 um to finish off the improvements. And it's unfortunate that FEMA will not help fund any of this. And everybody said, "Oh my gosh, well, you ought to be able to use the ship revenue and things like that." All of that, it's just the various pots can't be used.
They can't, and it's so complicated because what I have found the most interesting about this whole thing is people who have lived here forever never knew that path for the most part is over private property.
Right.
So they've always thought it was a town path. In fact, I remember when we first had to put things up and say, no trespassing, and people would post, I can go down there anytime I want. It's public. Well, it's not. So we couldn't really get FEMA money because every individual owner would have had to ask for it. And as far as the cruise ship money, that's just such a hot button anyway. And the VIA has never, for any project, because the VIA has Glen Mary, Gregoire Park, the other park I can't think of the name of, and we've never used public money. So it's important that continue because that's how it was started. 141 years ago, the VIA was founded.
Right, which is crazy when you think about the history um and there are a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. I mean, you mentioned Glen Mary, and I know that you guys are trying to work together on a long-term lease with the town of Bar Harbor, so that way the pool can be funded. And there are just a lot of things that need to be funded when disasters occur and or change major infrastructure needs to happen.
Yeah. And I think with the shore path, it's already started. David Witham, who's also on our board, extremely generous, as everybody knows, a very valued community member. And they said, we will take care of that big chunk of Bar Harbor Inn. You know, they're paying for all that. That's
Right.
$300,000 of it. And then the VIA said, we'll, you know, we have an endowment and everything over the years, so we'll put in 300,000. So then this part that kind of starts at Grant Park, because you have the little section that's the towns, and then starting in front of Balance Rock, it's about 500 feet of seawall that we need to replace.
Right.
So that will go south, and it's when is it going to happen? You know, there's so many questions. So they're working. I mean, they've started at the Bar Harbor Inn. Everybody's seen that, and then they'll just work their way south, and then hopefully sooner the better. I mean, we have the money. There's money at this point is not holding up. Everything's moving forward as it can. It's not as if we're waiting for money to do it, because we have plenty to get it as far as it needs to be.
All right, so people can go, and we've written a story on the WDEA website about the GoFundMe, and really that there's, it's any kind of donation, whether you have lots or a little. I mean, anything and everything would be appreciated.
It's so much. And I think too, it's nice for people. There's lots of $25 donations, which I love, because obviously that's an effort. And it also makes people feel that, because we do think of that as ours. I mean, as little kids, that was our playground. We didn't think of
Right.
that as the shore path. Everybody thinks of it as theirs. And so you can contribute anything. $10 is a lovely gesture, just to be a part of it, just to be a part of being able to say, we appreciate all of these individual landowners letting us go across their property. We care enough to bring it back, and we just want to be a tiny part of it. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, and it's that old saying about many hands make light work, and if everybody is, I mean, we'll go totally cliche. I mean, if all the oars are rowing in the right direction, the boat goes faster. So, I mean, if we can think about everybody who comes down to Bar Harbor for the 4th of July. I mean, everybody contributes $10, that money will be filled in no time.
Yeah. And that's the people, local people that come down and enjoy it. Guests. I mean, the Bar Harbor Inn, I think Stay Bar Harbor, me at the Bayview, we're all actually sending out something to our guests
Right.
saying, those of you who come just maybe once a year or once every 3 years, everybody loves it. And it's just, I love it when people keep calling it a treasure, because it truly is. It's an unarguable, there's a lot of things we can argue about,
Oh, and there are a lot of things that are argued about, no doubt
argued
about
about,
it.
but I don't think this is one of them. So I
Right.
think everybody can agree on the shore path.
And isn't it nice to have something in Bar Harbor that everyone can unite around?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. We have been having frequent meetings, weekly meetings, the Shore Path Committee of the VIA, and it's very fun, because you don't have to talk about any negative. It's just all positive. It's all, I mean, people, Julie and Greg that own window panes have asked, what can they do? And they've got some ideas on doing some fundraising, and they're coming to us. This is kind of like when you and again, congratulations on your Cadillac award, but I
Thank you.
remember when I was talking about you to the group that did that, it's that sort of thing that you do. I say, you think, oh, I have to call Chris Popper to ask him to help with that, but before I can, you've called me to say how you can help.
Right.
And that's what everybody's doing about the shore path. They're saying to us, come on, how do we give you money? Let's do this.
So has work started, or so tell us a little bit about the timeline and the reopening of the short path.
And we can't get a clear, we all want that date, but
Right.
the work's happening at the Bar Harbor Inn, and it's going to just go along the Bar Harbor Inn owns a big piece. So
Right.
that's quite a bit of work. And then they'll just continue. And so it's just, I mean, it has started. It's not going to stop until it's done. I mean, we hope that I can't imagine we're going to go a whole summer without the shore path. I hope not. I don't think anybody wants that to happen, but it's going to be important too to respect the signs and respect the no trespassing, because one thing we also have to remember, because this is all private property owners, anybody at any point could close off the shore path. When
Mm,
I was a kid, again, just a few years ago,
right.
um, the shore path went much further, but it was cut off. I think this was in the early 70s. And so that legally they're not going to, I'm
Right.
sure, but we have to really be super respectful of that private property, because you don't want, it's dangerous down there. We
Yes.
can't take a chance on somebody getting hurt or something like that. So I think even the people that can't, or for some reason contribute, if they can just respect the no trespassing signs, that's a huge help.
Right.
And then it's gonna go it's everybody's priority to get this done.
Right. And obviously, a lot of it's weather dependent and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, let's have another big snowstorm. What can you open it in pieces? I mean, so if the Bar Harbor Inn area has been done and as you work um along, can you open it in chunks or is it going to be wait and see?
I think it's a wait and see, but there are, you can come Grant Park, and then the next access is Hancock Street before the end at Wayman Lane. So, there's a possibility if it gets to in front of Reef Point and then they say, well, okay, now you can walk this far. I think it's going to be a wait and see thing. And again, how people handle when it says don't go any further, if it's respected, I think yes. I mean, there are people on the VIA board that walk that path every single solitary day. Nobody wants it, done worse than.
Right, close longer than what is necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So again, there is a GoFundMe page. We'll put the link in this story as well.
Mhm.
And if people aren't comfortable using GoFundMe, is there a way that they can drop off a check or make a donation?
Yeah, in fact, interestingly, I tried to make a donation on GoFundMe yesterday. The board was all making, and that particular GoFundMe does not accept American Express cards. So they do PayPal is on our website, Bar Harbor Village Improvement Association.com. And that's PayPal, which does accept it. And you can also drop off a check. In fact, I think we're going to be announcing that you can drop off a check at window panes
Okay.
and they are going to deliver them to the bank. They've been a big help. So that will be out there.
You don't have like a bank that's set up that's taking donations yet or anything.
Well, our PayPal account is at First National.
Okay.
And so people, yeah, I'm sure. I haven't heard that per se, but I'm sure because the account is there, somebody could just
Yeah.
walk into First National and drop a check and they would
Make
get it to John Nicholson at First National is also the treasurer of the VIA. So
Okay. So
all works
we'll talk to
out.
John about that
Yeah.
and maybe set up an account there. All right. Anything else that and you bought a big farm in Sullivan. There's lots happening there as well.
Happening. Lots happening. Gonna save some baby animals, I hope.
I was just reading about that in the Ellsworth American and there's a that boat launch has got lots of little baby foxes and raccoons, and we know there's not many bigger animal lovers than you.
No, and you. And so you know how it is when my poor staff, they want to go in and do something at the boathouse. And I said, no, that is now a nursery. That is now a fox and raccoon nursery until the babies are gone and then we can do something. But yeah, you know how that is. We love
Uh,
our animals.
Absolutely, I'm rubbing Elmer here to
Hey,
stop him from barking. I think he's going to make an appearance. Are you going to say hello?
hey
Okay.
Elmer.
He's over here to my left. Anyway. All right, Kim, we'll stay in touch and we'll keep us updated as the fundraising goes on, and hopefully we can get this done sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Thank you so, so much for all the support.
Have a great day.
You too.